everyone, welcome to Squirrel Brain Stories. Just a little reminder right here at the beginning, we're going to be talking about heavy topics. Please make sure to take care of yourself, reach out to a friend if this triggers something in you. Make sure you drink your water, take your meds, and just maybe if you're not in a good place, today is not the day for this, come back to us later.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Squirrel Brain Stories. If you listened to us last week, you would have heard Michael telling part of his story of his life in the cult. So we are picking back up on there, and I am with my host here, my co-host, Adria.
And I'm with Angela.
And we have Niko here as well. We thought it would be good for Niko to be on the episode with Michael because they lived together for a while in the Hawaii cold. So I thought that would be a good perspective to have them both on together. And we are on here with our guest, Michael. So yeah, we're picking up where we left off. So, Michael, one of the questions that I was curious about was, if the living environment was much different than how it was in Portland, did each family member, was a whole family confined to a room, or this time were kids sleeping in different places than their parents?
I know at the Canella house, it was sort of slightly the same in some respects to Portland. At least for the girls, the girls would stay with their parents for the most part, except for some of the older girls would stay in separate rooms.
But so there wasn't like a sister's room?
There was for some of the sisters, but CJ. It was for CJ, but the males were pretty much just slept out in the open area, and in one of the semi-open, it's more like a family room type deal or a den section of the house. That was kind of the brothers' room, and then they would sleep in
it was the kitchen and the living room of the back house.
Oh yeah, the kitchen and the living room.
Because there were two houses that were property. Connected by a
breezeway. You said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And how many people do you guys think were in the Hawaii aspect of the cult? How many people lived with you guys, do you think?
Well, I mean, so there was Memo, his 5 kids in Scotia. They usually, in the Canella house, they all stayed in one room. And then my parents had a room, and then Dave and Cassie had a room. And then it was like the girls, I think there were like 3 or 4 of them in there. And then my grandma and Susie had their own room.
Okay.
It was about 35 to 40.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, there were a bunch of people from the outside.
On and off.
So that it was still kind of a revolving door of outsiders that would come for meals or come for Bible studies or people that come and spend the night.
I know. At one point, when we moved from the Canella house to the 2 houses or 3 houses on the one property, the long flag lot property, the one house was like 2 houses that was kind of combined, sort of. Or it was just one big house and it had a garage, but that garage was turned into another living environment as well.
Okay.
It was kind of enclosed. The bathroom was put in. The upstairs was turned into a big, nice family spot for one of the families that was into realty.
The ballroom.
Yeah, the
Yep.
ballroom.
Okay. And when you guys moved to this larger property, did more members come and start staying with you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys went from about 35 to 40. How many people do you guys think was living with you guys on the new property that had the 3 houses
I had two
Well,
houses.
or 2 houses? Okay.
yeah.
Well, the big house was like 2 units. It was like a duplex
Yeah.
kind of deal.
Oh,
So
okay.
you
Okay.
had the
There's
downstairs.
upstairs and downstairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a three bedroom unit basically.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
when we moved there, Memo and his family kind of took over upstairs, the upstairs unit. Him and Scotia had a room, and then the boys had a room, and then my grandmother stayed in the other room across the hall.
I
Okay.
think Dina and Bree stayed up there somewhere too, didn't they?
No, because Dina was always
Or no,
staying at
Dina
the
was
cottage.
downstairs. Dina was down at the little cottage. That's right. But Bree stayed up there, like with Grandma Rose.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So away from her mom.
But I remember Mom and Richard and the girls went there, and I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. They weren't there for very long, were they?
No, they got tired of it real quick.
I can
Because,
imagine.
you know, you can't be in control over there because someone else
Yeah.
is in control.
Yep.
I was going to say it's so unsurprising that that's a fit environment for you two, but not for them.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to be a narcissist if you're controlled by a narcissist.
There you go. There's only room for
Very
one
good point. That's crazy. Wow.
Michael,
yeah,
were you still there when Memo got arrested?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I was sort of, or we were rebelling at that point. We were seeing through. We were seeing.
We used to get very, very drunk together.
You were seeing through the bullshit?
I had a bar under my bed, so.
Yeah. A box full of booze and mixers. I would just go over to his room.
At some point, I had started mixing Long Island iced teas just to go to the evening studies.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember when we went to see that freaking movie? I think.
Yes, I do.
Fog. Oh,
I don't even remember what movie it was. I was sick.
It was The Fog.
I was sick, and I was sick, and I was taking cough and cold medicine, and we drank like 2 6-packs, and then we were hitting the liquor that I had in my bag. We got to the movie theater like when they were cleaning the theater out for the next showing. We got there like an hour early, and they were looking at us because they saw us drinking in there.
Oh my gosh.
By the time it started, we were already passing out. And we had a row of Marines in front of us.
We were drinking clear and brown alcohol.
Yeah. It was rum and vodka.
Wow.
Yeah. Or rum and gin or vodka, one of the two.
You guys.
Yeah. I don't even know how we got home that night.
You were leaning on me. It was a lean on me type of a situation. But yeah, all I remember about that was the Marines were getting mad because Niko was throwing up. Like multiple times. Threw up in his bag and threw up all down the front of his shirt.
Oh my gosh. You guys. Wow.
So when we finally left, the Marines kept turning around. They were like, "What the hell? We're trying to watch a movie here."
Oh no.
Finally, we were like, we better leave. And when we were walking out, one of the cleaners that was in there cleaning up the place saw us, or a couple of them saw us leaving, and they were like, "How was the movie?" They're kind of chuckling, and Niko had throw up all down.
Oh, that's so gross.
Isn't that
You
so
guys,
sad? And this is why I don't drink anymore because
because of him.
Yeah, that was.
Oh.
Niko
Hey,
woke up the next morning and he had someone else's clothes on. I remember that.
that's never a
just
good
so mean in the shower.
experience.
No.
Yeah, I think your dad put someone else's clothes on that were way too small for you because your clothes were covered with throw up.
Yeah, that was a bad.
But yeah, that was during the time when we were already kind of exiting stage left, so to say. We were just still there.
I was
And
going to
then,
say, I know there was a point, Niko, where you had more freedom from Memo in Hawaii because he was kind of like, yeah, well, you might be a lost cause, but you're here, so we're going to go with it and let you do what you want. Michael, how did you get to a point where you were able to kind of come and go freely and do what you wanted to do?
well, the veil started getting lifted after I got the external job. And I think that was where Memo realized he was losing control. And that's why he gave me so much crap. And he started saying, oh, I'm going to be a deadbeat. I'm going to die from AIDS or whatever. He was saying that stuff because, and he even had brother Mark, chew me out too or whatever because they were losing control. See, I was doing the shooting and the editing and all of that volunteer. We all were doing it all volunteer. It's not.
Well, it's kind of forced labor. I mean,
Yeah, forced labor, but it's the teamwork of everyone that
you had to
was.
do it.
Yeah, but when I started getting paid doing that type of work, that was when I became a problem. So I started seeing through the veil even more than or we all saw the amount of control that was happening. We saw it more and more, and it was really annoying us. Like, I don't know if I'm sure Niko remembers, but you remember how Memo used to treat Brianna, where Ben couldn't talk to her, I couldn't talk to her, and other guys like Ben's brothers couldn't, my brother couldn't talk. A lot of the younger guys, uh, she would get in trouble for talking to them. But I think that was because he was trying to keep hidden, what was going on behind the scenes. He was afraid that he was going to lose control if she got too close to people.
Yeah.
I think. But
My other question, Michael, is so have you personally witnessed victims be abused, or someone has told you, or you heard about it from other members of people being abused in the cult, either in Portland or in Hawaii?
I remember Niko told me in Portland that he had been sexually assaulted at one point.
I told you in Portland?
Yeah, I remember that.
So that was before the big move.
I don't remember if it was in the upper room of the king's house. I remember he mentioned something to me about that.
And do
It was
you
around the time that Travis was coming around, if I remember right, that you mentioned it.
And no names, but do you recall anybody else that confided in you, anything you witnessed, or rumors of anyone else being abused?
Not until the truth came out, but
In Hawaii, the big thing.
yeah, in Hawaii, yeah, the big thing. But I did witness, well, I didn't witness it actually happening, but I did witness several of the girls cutting themselves. And they would always wear those long sleeves that weren't connected to the shirt on
Was
their
that in
Oh
forearms.
yeah,
Hawaii?
arm
That
warmers.
was in Hawaii. They would wear them because they were cutting themselves all the time. Like
Probably.
three of them were doing that.
So they
I didn't.
definitely were affected by the
Yeah,
environment of the cult and the life that they had been brought up in.
yeah.
Now, the
And
extent of the abuse, we don't exactly know, but there were struggles for them.
well, the two girls from the other family,
Yeah.
they were abused psychologically like Niko.
Well,
More
they were
so,
also physically
more so,
abused
yeah, more so the
because
younger one, but
because I remember a long time ago in the cult, their mom, I noticed the mom wouldn't ever let the two girls around any guys alone. Like they were always with their mom. Like everywhere she went, she never separated from them. And one day I was like, I think I confronted her and I was like, it's weird that they're always with you, like they can't sit with at the table while you go to the bathroom or something. And I was told that it was because one of the brothers was bouncing the daughter on his lap.
I remember hearing that.
Yeah. Yeah, on his lap, like right over his penis, and like fast bouncing.
Oh. Well, I
I
mean, at
remember
least
hearing
she
that.
did the right
That
thing.
No, she did do the right thing. I mean, partially, it should have been reported to prevent other people from being abused. Um, but yeah, she did the right thing for watching out for her daughters after that initial incident.
Yeah.
Were you ever touched at all by anyone in the cult, Michael?
No.
Okay.
Um,
What about beatings? I know, Niko, that was prevalent for you and Ange with your first husband. That was kind of par for the course. But Michael, did you ever experience anything like that when you stepped out of line early on before Memo kind of gave up after you got a job?
no. Uh,
I'm pretty sure the only time he got hit was when I hit
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's interesting. So still even, I mean, so how some people were targeted more than others. And I wonder why that was. Like, were they afraid of your dad finding out, or was there really no one close enough supervising you that cared enough to be beating you?
Well, I was an adult. Well, I mean, Niko was an adult too, but maybe it was because uh, I would call crap out like it was regularly. I felt like a lot of people.
Okay. So you
Uh,
kind of deflected that victim status a little bit, and instead of being a prey, they
yeah,
knew that you would kind of, yeah, okay. That
I
makes
would call
sense.
everyone out in the middle of Bible study.
Wow. That's crazy.
Well,
I
but
bet that didn't go well.
you were there for different reasons than everyone else. Like you said last time, you were there because you really thought this was your calling from God,
Well,
and everybody else
yeah.
there had already been sucked into the delusion.
Well, and I had already became close to Niko and his dad and his mom and to uh, some of the other ones that moved over to Hawaii. And that was part of the reason why I wanted to go also. And, Hawaii sounded nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Opposed to cold Portland in the middle of winter time after we went through accidents and stuff.
Yeah.
The horrible ice storm when we almost all died from carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah, because I know my face was always hurting because my face got smashed in during the assault that happened
Yeah.
before my accident, and then my accident on top of that. That was why I ended up staying in Hawaii because
Really?
it was a lot more comfortable on my bones.
Oh, okay. The warm weather. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense. Interesting. Wow. Huh. I'm curious about another thing, Michael. Um, at what point did you like the veil was lifted and you were like, fuck this, and you like, I'm out of here? I know you said that one time you threatened, but at what point and how long, how many years did it take you in Hawaii with them to get to that point where you realized what was actually going on and getting out?
I think I was there for like 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
But it was when I had the job that I had that I finally ended up just leaving. And I ended up connecting with a guy that was also in production. I don't remember how he got my contact or how we became in contact with each other.
Uh-huh.
His name, I guess I won't say his name, but he was doing film stuff, and I
Okay.
got invited to go help him on some film sets, location film sets, and some music video stuff or whatever. But I ended up moving in with when he offered me to move in with him in one of his spare rooms. I think I told him the drama that was going on between me and Memo and the fact that I'm working, and uh, you know, he didn't like that.
Okay.
That was when I finally moved, when Memo
Okay.
was just getting really.
Too
But
much
but I still went there and hung out with them pretty
with the other
regularly.
kids.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what Niko kind of he was talking about, being worried about them after he left too.
yeah, we all pretty much hung out with each other for quite a while after that.
Yeah. It's hard to separate yourself from people that you grew up with. you
Hmm.
know I know at some point in my healing process I really was overcome with a feeling of grief, and it took me a while to understand why I would ever feel grief for such a horrible place. And it wasn't because of the place, and it wasn't because of Memo. It was because of the relationships and friends that felt like they were family that was now all of a sudden just ripped out of my life. And that chapter was now empty. There was nothing filling it except for emptiness. So,
Yeah, yeah. But like, I still feel close to uh, his kids, Paul and the rest of them.
yeah. I mean,
But
how can you not when you grew up with someone and helped watch them? I mean, a lot of us basically raised those kids,
yeah,
which is crazy.
Sure.
I have another question, Michael. So once you finally got out, did you, and if you did, tell people about your story and kind of what had happened, or a little insight into what you had experienced, what were people's reactions? Or did you not yet realize what had actually happened, what you had lived?
people were surprised. I do remember the TV station that I started working at down the road. They were really surprised at what they never saw that coming at all. Because I started working there, the same community TV station that we were producing everything through and airing
Okay.
all of the broadcasts on.
Wow.
I ended up working there for 5.5 years.
So they really looked up to Memo.
Yeah,
Wow.
They thought all of us were really good and proper people. They never expected to hear that
Well, I
that
mean,
type
we
of
took
stuff
on
was
so many
happening.
projects for them.
Yeah, we actually broke the rules there. You're supposed to have been trained on everything before you could use any of the equipment. And
Yeah.
just one of them, like Brother Mark and a couple other people, got the producer certifications, and then once you got that, you could check the gear out. Um, and then after that, everyone would just use it to the point where
Wow.
we were using all the gear, modifying the gear, redoing the setups to make it work better. Um,
Wow.
and then years later, we finally went in after we were already doing work for them on the side, like for special projects or community projects. Uh, they were surprised when we actually went to actually take the classes. They were like, "What? You guys can teach these classes?"
Wow, that's crazy.
That's
That's
actually
cool.
what they made me, or they had me do when I went there, or when I started working there. Was
Okay.
I started teaching how to use the big ENG broadcast camera, because
Okay.
we used them all the time. Those were pretty much the only cameras we used were the big ones, not the small ones. But
I have
Mm.
I have another question too. What was it? Oh my gosh, what was it? Um, after your discovery of what, you really were living in and getting out of that and trying to get life back on track, how is your relationship nowadays with your mom and Richard? Like, do they feel guilty at all for for having this place be a part of your life, or, they really did nothing wrong in their eyes? Do you feel like that's their
I
stance?
don't I don't think they feel guilty.
Yeah, okay.
I think that they still kind of have some of the mentality from
Really?
Colt and carry it over
Okay.
slightly.
Yeah. Okay. And I remember what I was going to ask. Um, After the charges came forward in Hawaii and Memo was actually going to be prosecuted and arrested, up to the point of his arrest, was he trying to make everyone believe that he was innocent and that this victim was lying about everything?
Before or after?
Well, either way, I guess. Either before or
Because
after.
I think he was pretty much scooped up like real quickly after the HPD were notified about Hawaii Police Department was notified about, or
Okay.
Honolulu Police Department was notified about what was going on.
Okay.
He was snatched up pretty quickly, wasn't he,
At
Nico?
the airport, right?
Yeah, he
He
was
was snatched up
arrested.
within like a few days or less, I believe.
Okay.
It
And
all
afterwards, did
happened pretty
he
quick.
ever try to justify anything or try to deny anything, try to make himself look good in the community again? Or did you ever see him with more minions after his release from jail?
From prison, yes. From what I understand, he had a little cult going inside the prison.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and when he got out, he already had a new disciple that he had. He already had him trained up in the ways that
Wow.
he.
Do you believe that he is doing some of the same tactics up in his current location in Seattle?
Probably, I'm not sure. I haven't heard from him in a while, but I know he tried to even get that started with me because I lived off the grid for a while in Hawaii, close to 10 years.
Wow.
Uh, and Paul, his son, came to Hawaii with his family to, you know, for a short vacation. So I went down and hung out with him, and his memo ended up being there. And I didn't go to hang out with him. I went to hang out with the son
Mm-hmm.
and his wife and daughter. Um, but he was there, and he actually offered. He preached a little bit to me, the same sermon that he always preached. But he actually tried to offer to buy or rent or lease a condo on like the top floor of one of the high rises in Waikiki, so I wouldn't have to live off the grid. I was like, no, I'm good, bro. Yeah, I'm not. No,
So he was trying to bribe you to get your following, basically.
he was trying. Yeah, he was like, all you have to do is just keep an eye on it, and um, you know, anytime someone needs a place to stay or wants to come down, uh, but you can live in it all you want. And then
Wow.
even after I turned down that offer, he tried to get me to move in with this other guy named John. It was like
In Hawaii?
yeah, he was a psychologist. He was trying to get me to
Other
move in
John.
with him. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, no, cancel that order. But yeah, he tried to
Why
get me.
why would he be trying to contact you with a psychologist?
Well, the
I don't
psychologist
know.
stayed in contact with him while he was in prison. He actually went and visited him
Yeah.
regularly, from what I understand.
Wow.
Yeah.
My mom used to be really good friends with that guy.
The psychologist?
Yeah.
Do we
And
know
they
a
used
last
to talk
name?
all the time. Oh God, I cannot remember his last name.
Okay. If you guys think of a last name, um, text it to me because I'd be curious to look
I could always
into
ask
the
my mom.
connection. Okay.
She would know his name.
I don't want to say what I think, just because it might be some other John that I'm thinking of the last name.
Well, you can
I'm
text it to me.
I'm really bad with names
Yeah. Oh, I'm
and
good with
dates
names. Did you see that
because of my
spreadsheet?
yeah because of my brain damage. I still have memory problems, remembering birthdays and you know, names, people that
Yeah.
I just meet.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. Man, one of the other things I'm curious about is, do you have any major health issues? Because a lot of us survivors are noticing that a lot of us have some pretty substantial health issues. And I'm wondering if there's some sort of correlation that could be a link to all of the junk food and partially molded food that we always ate, you know?
Um,
Because there is a brain gut axis, is what it's called.
well, I had a stroke,
Yeah. And how old are you?
44.
And this was just like last year or so, right?
It wasn't even a year ago yet.
Dang, that's
Yeah.
young for a stroke. Do they know what caused it?
Uh, a
Just
lot of
bad
different.
health.
It's a lifetime of uh, different exposures and
Yeah.
things. Some of it even has to do with my alcohol consumption after leaving the ministry or the cult.
Yeah.
We
Trying
all
to.
drank pretty heavily after that.
Did you struggle a lot with different traumas or some psychological abuse or mental abuse? Were there things that there was an aftermath from the cult that affected you?
Well, I'm still affected to a certain degree. I've noticed,
Okay.
even with the control that he did with not letting some of the girls talk to the younger guys. I've noticed that even that has affected me in my uh, life when it comes to dating.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it was a mental thing that kind of got into the head that,
It was
oh,
bad. And so
you
it
might
was an
get,
avoidance.
yeah, you don't want people to see it because you might get in trouble or they might get in trouble,
And you're going to be called out in front of everyone in the middle of a Bible study.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, that's rough.
And then the narcissistic stuff still affects you
Yeah.
until you learn how to let it go. Like all of us have to learn uh, some way of releasing all of this stuff from having control over our lives
Uh-huh.
or our minds, because
Yeah.
it's not at all a healthy thing to keep going over and over and over in the head.
No, and this stuff doesn't define us who we are. Where I believe that us coming together and doing this as a project and as all sharing our stories and being collaborative, we're controlling the narrative. It's no longer their narrative. We're making it our own. And we're
Yeah.
speaking for each other, and we're speaking for the silence victims that we hope one day will come forward too.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I've noticed even in family, uh, narcissistic tendencies
Mm-hmm.
certain people, and that I've had to separate myself um, from certain family members, because I choose peace. I don't want to live in constant conflict
Yeah.
and narcissistic control.
When you've lived as many years as we have in such a controlled, dictated environment, once you finally come to realization of what you actually endured, the last thing you want to happen is to be within 2 feet of someone that exhibits those same characteristics.
Like I actually got a lot of flack and uh, sort of threats
Really?
because it's all your fault. It's my fault too, because you started this podcast.
Yeah, because I
Because
found my voice and I'm
and
shedding light.
yeah, and somebody asked me, "Oh, is what she's saying, is what you're saying on here true?" And I said, "Yeah,
Uh-huh.
everything that I've heard so far is true. I didn't know everything
Yeah.
that you talked about in previous stuff, but everything else that you've said has been the truth. And ever since I said that, all hell broke loose. So
Oh, shoot.
that was when I decided, you know what, I just need to cut myself off from
Wow.
And then we went and made it worse by recording Dear Dick because I'm an asshole.
Well, I was being threatened to be doxxed, and I feel like I needed to show my stance and that he was not intimidating me and he was not going to control the outcome of this. I'm the one in control, and you can back the fuck on off.
Yeah, they
He's
said
been
that.
silent.
Yeah, to us,
Well,
anyways. I don't know
well,
about to Michael.
for me, he's been silent as well.
Really? Wow.
I had my old coworker that I'm staying with. her other half works in the medical field.
Okay.
And I know how he gets because I've lived around him for years and years and years and years and years and years, and he's always been narcissistic.
Uh-huh.
So I know how it is. Once you say anything that he doesn't agree with, you have a battle for weeks, days, or weeks after,
Or years.
one or years afterwards, just for small disagreement or him, you saying that, disagreeing with what he said, or saying that, oh no, that's not the way it is, this is actually how it is. It's just a revolving door that just goes on
Wow.
and on and on and on and on. And so when he texted me, when our other sister texted me and asked me, oh, is that all true?
Uh-huh.
After I said pretty much everything, I haven't listened to the whole thing, I told her, but everything I've heard is true. Literally, immediately after, he started blowing my phone up and giving me all kinds of crap and saying that, oh, God judged me. That's why I had my stroke. And, he was just judging me because I'm a POS, and, no good for nothing.
And all
he
of
was
that.
saying that he was going to send people and give your address out, or send people to, come and get you.
And he's all pissy because when you were contacted about my story and asking if it was true, the concern from a family member was that there were some deep, dark secrets that is occurring. And they're seeing some red flags. So,
Yeah. But so he texted me, he kind of went silent for a while, and he texted me something like a month and a half later. So another example of how he just keeps it going and going and going.
yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm not even dealing with this. I'm done. So I actually took my phone to my old coworker's other half and asked her to, if she could handle it for me, because I was like, I don't want to deal with him. I know if I'm the one that deals with him, it's just going to keep going and going and going. It's going to, and my phone's going to be blowing up for weeks or months. It's just the way it goes. So she texted back and said, please stop. He doesn't appreciate it or whatever. He's asked me to do it because he doesn't want to get involved in the whole
drama,
rat wheel of drama. And he started responding back. I've never even read the messages because I chose peace within myself. That he sent. But he actually sent a message back saying, oh, you don't know him, this and that, and talking all kinds of mad crap. And she just simply responded back, but you don't understand what's going on here. I know everything, as he's already told me. And I am a medical professional, and I'm letting you know right now, I'm not going to go back and forth like he might have in the past. If you don't stop, he wants you to stop. If you don't stop, then there will be a protective order, no contact order filed. And after that, he never contacted back.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad that he's stopped bothering you.
But I did have contact. I did have contact through other means. and I just had to basically shut it down. Not in that way, but basically saying there's nothing to talk about. And I choose not to, I choose to separate myself from toxic people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to allow toxic people that I'm not even living with anymore
To control the outcome.
control the outcome
Yeah.
or the future of my life.
We've had enough of that. Come on.
Yeah, I'm freaking done with all that
Like,
crap.
damn, come on, give us a break. Let us live our own life and make our own decisions for a little while.
Yep.
Is that too much to ask?
Toxic relationships is the absolute last thing I want in my life anymore.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of to that point too where I don't want any more damn drama. I'm so done with it. Like, I'm just tired of having to like think, 20 steps ahead because I have to plan for every possible outcome because you gotta know how to deal with this when it happened. Just so much like PTSD, man.
Yeah, I mean it's really rough for me to have to say that because the other person is someone that's near and dear to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
But at some point, if they're not willing to see things for how it is and try to help themselves,
Yeah.
or call people out on their toxic behavior, uh, then they have to be included in the same exact type of no contact. And
Yeah.
that's the way I've been looking at it.
Really. That's probably the healthiest way because otherwise it's just a back and forth. It's like we know the story, we live the story. What's there to argue about? Your
Yeah.
ego, that's hurt. That's
I
not,
mean,
you
he
know.
was he was abusive towards me even when I was in middle school. He punched me across the garage when I was in middle school
Oh my
because
gosh.
I was standing up for mother,
Really?
because he was being abusive towards her. Just throwing stuff at her or
So he was still abusive.
hitting
It
her,
wasn't just
pushing
that
her.
one time he punched her in the face and broke her cheekbone or her eye bone. He was
Yeah,
still like physically
he was
abusive to him.
still physically in some ways. Definitely, sometimes he would throw stuff at her. And he was always very, very verbally abusive.
Yeah. Demeaning.
Yeah, demeaning. And I think that's part of the reason why he doesn't like me so much, because of the fact that he knows that ever since I was young, I called him out.
Yeah.
I stood up. I stood up to him, something that didn't always happen
Yeah.
from other people.
Yeah. Like, definitely. Wow.
And I'm not trying to put myself in like a savior freaking complex or anything. It's just I thought that was absolutely wrong.
Yeah. Well, and you need
Shouldn't
to
be.
do what's healthy for you. We all
Yeah.
have so much that we're carrying and that we're trying to process and we're trying to heal from. The last thing you need in your life is toxic people bringing you down when you're trying to heal and recover.
Yeah, and well, when I had my stroke, there was more than one toxic entity around at the time.
Really?
And
Wow.
I am sure, even though doctors say that's not the only reason, but it was the uh, final needle in the haystack type of a deal, or final
Uh-huh.
straw. that contributed to it.
Yeah.
There was a heated thing between someone that he had invited to stay with us, a friend, and it ended up that he was kind of going off, and because he didn't get paid from Nickard for whatever he had helped him with. He wanted cigarettes, and he was upset. He was upset because he was addicted to cigarettes, and he was trying to get me to get him, and he started going crazy and going a little bit crazy, getting a little bit wild, and I told him he needed to just take a walk and go cool off because he was getting really loud. Didn't want us to get in trouble. The apartments that we were at. Right after he walked out the door, it was when my face went numb.
Hey, I remember. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I told him that I think pretty sure I just had a stroke.
Oh, no.
He never called anybody. He was just like, "Oh, you sure it's not from your car accident?" It's like, no. The whole side of my face is numb.
Oh, geez, that's scary.
And I didn't go. They tried to get me to go, but at that point, I was like, I'm still alive, so maybe I'll get better.
Michael.
I didn't go in for 48 hours.
Oh my gosh, that's not safe.
My stroke. So they really weren't able to reverse the stroke at that point.
Well, I wonder why. My gosh, you need to take care of yourself.
I got that stubbornness in me, so. And if I'm still standing and still breathing, I'm good, right? But no, that's not always the case. If you have a stroke, you have numbness or weakness on one side of your body, you definitely need to go in right away.
Yeah.
Don't wait.
No, that is not the safe thing to do.
You need to call an ambulance.
Don't battle traffic.
Unless you're stubborn like me, and you wait 48 hours, you don't need to call an ambulance unless you have no other right at that point. But that's what my doctor told me when I called his office to ask if I should go in.
Wow, that's crazy.
But after my stroke was when I started realizing I needed to try to obtain more peace in my life.
Yeah, that's a good outlook.
It's unhealthy to be in constant conflict.
Oh, I know. It takes so many years off of your life, just the constant state of stress. It's crazy. That's crazy. Before I forget, I have one other question. Sorry, this squirrel just popped back into my brain. And before I forget it again, because I keep chasing him and he's back, so we got to visit him. In Hawaii, did Memo still receive the monthly, donations that people would give the working members? Did they still have to give him their monthly donation tied?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Do you guys know about how much you think it was a month?
No idea.
Probably a few hundred.
I want to say
it was more than that.
Really?
I'm sure of it. Hawaii is not cheap.
No.
That land there was probably several $1 million.
Actually, that first house he bought it for $217,000. But when he sold it for $1,363,000.
No,
Yeah.
the
The last house?
the flag lot, that one I
That
know
was
was
Mocha Poo Road.
Macapo or whatever it's called.
Yeah. So he bought that house for 428,000 and it was sold for 2,160,000. Yeah. Um, okay. So how many members roughly do you think were working and contributing to their monthly tithe donation?
Well, it wasn't just people that were living there. It was
Well, no,
also
I know. I'm going
people.
to get to that too. I just want to focus first on a rough number of the people that actually live there and had to give their monthly tithe of
Well,
several $100s.
I mean, that was everybody who was living there. Anybody who had a job
Everybody.
was giving money. Yeah.
Did they allow women to work in Hawaii?
Yes.
Okay. Probably
My
because they need
my
the
mom
money.
and dad.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's really what it boiled down to. You
Okay.
know, uh,
And
my mom and dad worked at the same like retirement community.
yeah, I saw that. Avamere.
No, that's in
Oh,
Portland.
oh,
Over
okay.
there, it was a place called Pohainani. It was like up on the
Yeah, I
hill
remember going. It was on a
near.
big hill, right?
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
remember going there when I visited Hawaii. And then besides the live-in members, were there also outside members that would come and visit and would give their tithes and donations to Memo?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Probably around the same amount of money or
No idea about that.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you would have the people that would attend the studies from the WBC,
Uh-huh.
which was in Waikiki. Um, those people that would attend those studies would be given money,
Okay.
and that was where I think John came from originally, was from those
Oh, the
studies. And,
psychologist.
yeah, and then from the uh, HCKB, um, when we did the studies up there, where we went up there at like 5 or 5:30 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
A lot of those people that attended those morning studies would go from like 5:30 or 6 in the morning until like 12 or 1 in the afternoon.
Okay.
And there was a period of time where a lot of people were coming externally. There was a period of time when it was just us, or mostly just people from there. Sometimes we'd have to just read our Bibles quietly.
Okay.
A lot of the time it was like that until people externally started coming, and then
Yeah.
he started doing the long lead studies up there. But a lot of those people were contributing pretty
Financially.
decent,
Really?
financially, decent amount. I think some
Okay.
of them, because some of them were doctors,
Oh, wow.
military doctors and stuff like that,
Dang.
or realtors
Okay.
in real estate.
Did you ever hear Memo pride himself of being a millionaire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
he used to pride himself about the jean store, the jean
Yeah,
company a
the
lot.
Yeah.
Jeans warehouse.
Yeah. That doesn't exist anymore though, right? That
No,
was
it
when
Does
he
still
came
it?
exists.
In
the jean
20,
store,
His ex-wife, I think, still. It's called Jean Co. I think.
Jean Co.
it's called Jean Co.
Yeah.
now. Well, he was obsessed with his ex-wife too. Like he always talked about her, and he would say
Yeah.
things
I
like,
never heard
you
about
know,
her. That's why I was
oh
shocked when I
God.
found out he was married before Scotia. I was like, wait, what?
Well,
He was married?
it gave him more clout when he was talking to people that were externally attending that had more status or whatever.
Because he was
more clout because
a business owner.
He was a business owner, and he
But
went
he
to
wasn't married to
college.
her anymore, so he was no longer a business owner.
Yeah, but he started it. He claimed that he started it, if I remember right.
One of these days, I'm going to contact her. I found her name because I have questions.
Gave him clout because he had helped run that business with his ex-wife, and he had went to the Bible college, so it made him look more rich and knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, a stay-at-home dad that has a part-time working wife and somehow manages to get around $7 million assets and real estate property. The numbers don't math.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
He'd always have nice clothes. He would always be shopping at the really expensive designer stores.
Yeah. I know.
His favorite shirt was a Tommy Bahama.
Yeah.
Tommy Bahamas. He was always buying that brand.
Oh, and those Aloha shirts he had were like big bucks too.
Really?
Yeah. They weren't cheap. I don't know how much they were, but they were not cheap.
Jeez. Yeah, Meanwhile, the rest of us lived in poverty and eating scraps and rotten food, living on the floor. Oh boy. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. Shout out to Michael for being strong and starting his story path with us, and just walking us through how things went in his life in the cult. And Adria for being here again, co-hosting. Thank you. And thank you, Niko, for being here. Having a joint podcast with Michael. I think that was great to get, your guys's you guys were there together, you have history together. So it was good, I think. Well, I think, folks, we're going to end it here for the day. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. If you have any questions, if you have a story you would like to share, if you have your own experience that you would like to be hosted on, come and be a guest or have us read a little letter from you, you are more than willing to reach out to us for questions or anything like that, squirrelbrainstories@gmail.com. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. Just search up Squirrel Brain Stories. Please share, please like. We're trying to get some eyes and ears on this story because we believe that the silenced victims deserve to, get recognized and validated and know that they don't need to be carrying the shame with them or guilt for things that, they had no control of. So, thank you, everyone. Anyone else have anything to add? No? Okay. Bye, guys. See you next time.
Bye.